Hello, my name is Francis Fox, and I haven't been here for a while, but I felt the need to sketch the maps of the United States and the Caribbean. Um, Let me start with explaining why it is that the graphic that is behind me, for those who are listening to this via podcast, the graphic is dandelions, very pretty little yellow flower, and a dog. Dandelion is for self esteem. We all have self esteem issues. Supposedly, the original injury is the fact that we're not with God. Therefore, we must be defective. And then the process of life is proving time and again how defective we are. It's a misconception that we're defective. Every defect we have is pointing us in a direction or stopping us with information so that we can decide whether we need to continue with that defect, that deviation from what our heart is, or do we need to self correct? Did we already accomplish the mission that that defect gave us? And dog is all about friendship, companionship. United States, we supposedly love our dogs more than we love people. That may be true. Why am I putting this up on a podcast that generally talks about other things? Because I need to be sharing important things with you. And all of these things that are in metaphysics and aromatherapy and healing all can apply to governments and to the planet. So, what does dandelion have to do that would be important now? The United States self esteem is repairing. The United States, I think, in retrospect, had very low self esteem. I can't forget the title of that book, The Ugly American. Well, guess what? Trump, United States self esteem is repairing. When I show you the map, you'll see a couple of examples of what reasons why. Dog is friendship. I believe, and I said it months ago, and everybody thought I was like wishful thinking when I saw Trump with the president of Mexico. And I said they really get along really well. Melania, wait, pay attention. I was joking. Has absolutely nothing to do with sex. They just are synchronized. And everybody thought that I was just trying, my Hispanic followers, and they're all Hispanic, I was just trying for them to love Trump as much as I do. No, I saw it. And then I think it was this weekend, there was a lot of evidence that the president of Mexico and Trump are really synchronized. They really have a very familiar frequency. Why does that make me happy right now? I just realized Mexico has the vibe, the frequency of the Mayans. They were the only people on planet Earth in history that were able to transition, ascend gracefully. It's supposed to be the biggest question mark in archaeology. What happened to the Mayans? They keep sending expeditions to the jungle to find out why they all of a sudden just disappeared. They ascended. So if Trump, the president of the United States, is on the same frequency as the president of Mexico, that makes me really happy because everything is about this process of our frequency and ascension and where we're going to end up and what reality we're going to be living. I just realized very happy. And friendship, I think, when I show you the maps, which I'll go ahead and show you the map of the United States right now. And you can see maybe why I chose. So here's the United States. In the center, several days ago, I saw something black exploding in the center of the United States. And I went, oh God, no, please, I don't need a natural catastrophe. But no, it was a release and it went into a yellow flower. And I sketched it there. The colors are not great. Yeah, I need new coloring pencils. And then the Galactic Federation is still favoring the United States. There you got the protection. There's probably several of those Star of David. Star of David, by the way, is a talisman that has for over 6,000 years, and Judaism chose it as their symbol, which was very wise because it means a perfect combination or alignment of the spiritual and of the physical. Okay, so then we have all the pyramids which stabilize the Caribbean, and then we have Mexico saved and Venezuela saved, and there is where I'm giving you the whole companion thing. Uh, the United States is a very good neighbor, cleaning up the neighborhood. And it all has to do, I guess, with the person at the top, who was at the top before Trump was somebody who really needed to be put out to pasture. Or like they did in the olden days, they would send people to the country and they would park them in their chairs outdoors so that the nature could heal them. I think that trend that I think that the previous president, the people around him, can be accused of and taken to court for adult abuse. I didn't know that that existed. I'm an adult. Or elderly abuse. What is elderly abuse? In terms of my number of years, I'm elderly and I've had a whole cartel abusing me. So maybe additionally, they can be taken to court for elderly abuse. I don't know. It's kind of funny. But anyway. So then I had this feeling, a little bit more detail, being it that everything looks like it's a mess, which it's not. The messes were before, they were hidden. Now they're up and we can see them, and it's really distressing. So I went ahead and did the map, another map, deeper, looking for trouble. Again, when I do the maps, I am given what is the most important thing. But if I want to go deeper, then I just have to ask. So I did, and I don't have it up on camera. But basically, the trouble is Texas and Los Angeles. Okay, I have to be really careful about how I say this. They're going after Elon, and they're going after Elon, and they're going after Elon, and they're going after Texas. No surprise if there's some kind of natural disaster there, because they know how to weaponize the weather. They're going after Elon. And notice that I didn't say they're going after Tesla. They already tried that. They're going after Elon. Los Angeles, there's just too much rage there, and it's repressed. Um, Somebody's getting really nervous. Somebody was listening to this podcast having to do with what I just said. I'm going to get back to the Elon thing. Los Angeles is too much rage, and it's like boiling. So I think that I'll have my group go tonight and cool that down, because something will happen there. And they're what are they, on top of the San Andrea fault line that everybody keeps talking about? So we'll cool that down. But if everybody who's listening to this podcast, please start to be responsible in the areas. Visual huge glacier on top of all the outskirts, everything. Just pakada. Just visualize it. And breathe. And what is your intention? You're going to balance the elements. There's so much fire element in Los Angeles. It could erupt in fire. It is ready to erupt in. It is ready to erupt into the other dimensions. Do you remember the Los Angeles riots? I don't remember what the year they were, 20, 30, 40 years ago. That scar is called a vasana, Vasana. It was never healed. When you have cancer, it's because you have a vasana inside of you from years ago, and then it gets triggered. So that is almost ready. It's 18 hours away from getting triggered. Whatever time this is, it's 10:22 in Miami, in the United States. 18 hours from now, that vasana, which is an injury on the mind, and it's the basis for karma. So if there's riots again, then you'd say, oh, it's Los Angeles karma. Yes, what's the cause? Of asana, a deep-rooted injury. It's a knotting of the mind streams of Los Angeles. So 18 hours from now, unless we get this taken care of, and I suspect that we will, there will be an eruption of riots. And it will be like the end of the world having to do with how it will dominate the news and how all the people who want to use humanitarian concepts to go against what you're doing now, Trump, they'll pull them all out. The whole thing about, I don't remember what senator was saying, well, but because of Trump, the children are going hungry. There's always hungry children across the world. I was hungry. I now have those issues coming up huge now because of when I was a child. They used to not give me food purposefully. And then my stepmother would give me food that was spoiled. And I had to make a decision as a little kid whether I was going to eat it or not because I was starving. So, and when I was in the cave in Tibet to expand my mind, they would drop down food whenever. So I have big issues with that. So this senator saying, well, children are going without food. There's always children without food, and there's always different reasons for it. So when they do stuff like that, they don't have anything to hang their hat on. Going back to Elon. He's very private. I'm sure he doesn't want me to say this, but I'm so sorry because you know what? It's the only way I'm just going to get it to you. Okay, so they're going to go after Elon. The reason I'm not speaking so clearly is because I don't want to end up being the person who's gone. The different cartels have different ways of dealing with enemies. And they are going to be dealing with the reason they want Elon trashed, gone, not necessarily dead, is because it is like a little Pandora's box that they think that with that happening, it will be pulling the rug out from under. Oh dear, another piece of information out from under Trump. Oh dear, I had not seen that. Give me a second. Oh, okay. Um, okay. Okay. There are different levels of reality, and we live in a level that's manifestation, but there's a causal level. But before that, there's other levels, and there's levels of intention. So you have cartels that are going to be using. Why would that be? I don't get. There's something here I don't get. The connection between cartels. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. I need to organize my head because I'm getting information that is incredibly important, but I'm not getting it as systematically as I would like to get it, and certainly not live on a chat. Um, uh, okay. I'm asking permission to say this. Okay. It's the issue nobody wants to deal with. What's that issue? The galactic beings wanting to control planet Earth. Well, this has happened since the beginning of the planet. Oh, yeah, that's right. Read the Gods of Eden. Yeah, read this other book. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. What's going on now? Well, the big issue with the Vatican today, and this is not about this, I'm continuing on the Elon information. The Vatican, who is the reason why my left eye is one half the size of my right eye because of all the satanic rituals they're doing on me every day to knock me out of the box so that I'm not available to give information that they know is valid and bad for them. Because if it wasn't valid, they'd go, you know what? So she's just talking. Hmm. I was there. Opelika Air Force Base, Bay of Pigs, 1961, I think it was. Okay. The Vatican wants in to Venezuela really, really bad, and they're going to send businessmen because we've already called them out, having to do with them as a church, because they want to control Venezuela's relationship with the with ETs. Venezuela has minerals or kind of petroleum that haven't been discovered yet. One has, the others haven't. I think I revealed it the other day. It doesn't really matter. And that the ETs need for their technology. So there will be a negotiation process. There always has been, but it's been the bad guys. The Vatican has been in charge of a lot of those negotiations, which of course not shared with us. Why would they? It takes away their power. All their power is in secrecy. So they went into Venezuela really, 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 really bad. That they're getting into Venezuela, but they're not going to be able to do very much. And I'll talk about that later, the issue of being angelic and being in charge of a country like Venezuela, which I believe is the case of the duly elected vice president, who supposedly is the one who's going to be in charge. How does an angelic consciousness person handle this level of power? I don't know, Trump, you're doing it. So, how does that happen? I don't know, but I'm not going to deviate. Back to ET's Vatican, Venezuela, and Elon Musk. What does Elon Musk have to do with any of that? I asked him to call Maria Corina and say, let's set up Starlink for all of Venezuela. I don't think it ever happened. But I'm putting in the petition again. Okay. Are there kickbacks involved? I'm sure people are asking that. Um, with my luck with money, if there were, I wouldn't be getting any anyway. Okay. Back to Elon. Back to the Vatican. Back to Venezuela. Well, did I see in the news that the man that Elon recommended for NASA was rejected previously? And I believe he got given the assignment of running NASA. Hmm. NASA and ETs. Well, I can tell you that NASA, whilst you may think they have the opportunity for things with ETs, they have not done that till now, because that is handled by the same kind of people that are like the Vatican. I'm not saying it's the Vatican at all. I mean, maybe, but I'm not saying that. But now NASA is going to be in charge of somebody that Elon resonates with. Hmm. Elon is the one that wants to get us to Mars. Elon is the one who's not wanting to admit a lot of what it is that he knows that maybe you guys weren't ready for, but darn, there's no more time. So if you can take Elon down, you're going to be taking down the level and quality of relationship with ETs that this country should be having. And that, by the way, is the most important thing on the agenda today on planet Earth, is our relationship with off planet. Not our relationship with Putin and China and Venezuela. Are we enemies of Venezuela? We're going to invade? Are we really helping? That is a play. It's playing out, and it's playing out very nicely, thank you, due to you, Trump. Okay? That's not the important thing. When I see the Galactic Federation following Trump, every insecurity I have in my head about what it is I'm assessing goes away, because they wouldn't be following somebody who wouldn't be good for this, especially new process of openly relating to galactic species, forces, etc. It's interesting because I'm looking at this graphic behind me, and the text, I swear to you, didn't look this bright as it's looking now, which to me is saying that what I am saying is important and I shouldn't be afraid to say it. It's what I'm supposed to be saying. So, going back to the map of the United States, the 2 points that you have to pay attention to, Trump, are Los Angeles, and we will help take care of reducing that fire there, but don't add fire to it. And everybody listening, put ice on top of Los Angeles for the next 3 days, 3.5 days. And then Elon and Texas, they're going to go after. So the Elon issue has to do with the relationship of planet Earth with galactic beings. And like people say, well, all the bad ETs. I said, it's just like being in Miami. You're in Miami, you walk the streets. You're going to be see some people that are normal, but they're crazy inside their heads. You're going to see some people that kind of look really off. You're going to see some people that are very different skin color. You're going to see some people that dress really well. You're going to see people from different countries that do weird things. They're weird because they're from different countries. You weren't familiar with that. Same thing with the ETs. They're good, they're bad. You're in Miami, some people look so sweet, horrible intentions. And others look like, I'm not going to share a cup of coffee with them. It turns out they're good people. Same thing with the ETs. Stop trying to put them into two groups: the Galactic Federation, the Little Grays. The devil is an ET. He's not from this planet. So, initially, I thought they were going after Trump to basically, no, I said it, to pull the rug out from under him. And then for you guys to learn about being a good psychic. Then I extrapolated and felt, I don't know what I said, that it had to do with their relationship and da da da. No, I extrapolated. That wasn't pure psychic reading. The pure psychic reading was pulling the rug out from under Trump. And then the next statement was the one that I did not assess correctly. So I corrected that already, and I'll say it again. The issue with Elon has to do with communications and agreements with off-planet beings. Going back to the bad guys, now I can say it. They're going to be doing some kidnapping. So I would tighten up on everybody. On everybody. And I don't really have anything else to say on that because I don't know anything. That's it. My group, just to change the subject, we discovered the magic of what happens when your coccyx is anchored. And we have gone to there was a dimension the dolphins call horizon, because it's in between morning, night, in between breathing out of your left nostril, your right nostril. It's in between times. And there is a tent there that symbolizes the veil of forgetfulness. And we've been going down there several times. We did pull out the table with all the Vatican stuff. So all their stuff will all get revealed. But I also found that in that dimension, the bad guys can operate. And one of the things that they did, and I said it before, on the Vatican table, they had the instructions to demasculinize, take away the sexuality and the masculinity from Jesus Christ so that Christians would be more submissive. Well, that happened. And then what I found this last time, which was really sad, is from there, the bad ETs operate. And that there were some provisions made for humans for when somebody died, that there would be an ability for that person who's left behind and the person who died to be in an in-between dimension state, the horizon state, to where they could still commune and communicate, and that it like a transition, and then that would end, and that was canceled out of the original plan for planet Earth, so that when somebody passes, it's like from 1 minute to the next, gone. That was not the way it was supposed to be. So it'd be nice when we get down there more fully to establish, maybe we can. I didn't even think of trying to change that, but I suspect we can, because it was from there that this was done. For those of you that are listening to me for the first time, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to teach you white magic. And the easiest way it was, or what has made it easy for me, is to see what they can do with black magic. Don't like it. It's an addiction. Don't do it. If you're in it, get out of it, because your frequency is going to be low. But when I see what they're capable of doing, I understand what the human mind can do. And we really need to wrap ourselves around that. And like I say, for years, everybody said I was crazy, the people that didn't really know. And now there's a lot of the crazy ladies not so crazy. So anyway, this is turned into a podcast, Francis Fox News from Other Dimensions. I put out 2 podcasts yesterday called Confessions that I filmed in 2018, rather dramatic, of the stuff that I went through and part of my history. You might want to listen to it. Okay, that's it. Thank you for listening, and we and the Mantrista movement will go ahead and reduce the fire in Los Angeles. But you can do it too. And you can, if you have a child that's too angry, visualize them inside an igloo. Okay?